When you think of or even see Nikola Jokic, he doesn't seem like a guy with a really exciting off-the-court life. After all, he's the lanky Serbian joker who seems to be concerned with nothing else but his game. Right? Wrong. This dude's lifestyle is actually like nothing you could imagine. So stick around to find out what Nikola Jokic's lifestyle really is. It's not like it's a flex or anything, but when it comes to different backgrounds and upbringing, very few players have had it as hard as Nikola Jokic. This guy was born in February 1995 in Sombor in northwest Serbia, right in the middle of the Yugoslav wars. Things were difficult in the war-ridden country, and Jokic had to grow up in a tiny two-bedroom apartment with both his parents, his two older brothers, and his grandmother. Growing up this way, with their dad working as an agricultural engineer, Jokic and his brothers picked up basketball and horse riding as the few things to do for fun in what was a very tense Serbia. And honestly, the three Jokic's all showed talent on the court. The eldest brother, Strahinja, who's about 40 years old, actually went as far as playing professionally in Europe, while the other one, Nemanja, only got as far as playing college basketball at the University of Detroit Mercy. Nikola, however, was always something more special. Being taller than most of his peers from a young age gave him an edge, and you could tell he had more to offer than just height. Crazy thing though, at some point this dude was considering giving up on basketball to go professionally into horse racing. Not because he thought it paid more, but because he enjoyed horse racing that much. It wasn't until he was about 14 years old that he was able to decide to focus on the hard floor, and since then, he hasn't looked back. He did buy himself a number of racehorses after getting into the NBA though. Anywho, after playing youth basketball for Vojvodina Strujagas and achieving total index rating greater than 50 in 2 consecutive games, a lot of Serbian teams started to take note of Nikola. By December 2012, at the age of just 17, Mega Vizura signed him, and after playing mostly with the junior team, Nikola got called up to the first team for about 5 games that season. Showing so much promise, the Belgrade-based franchise offered him a 4-year contract in February 2013, and he became a regular for the senior team, averaging an impressive 11.4 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.5 assists in over 25 Adriatic League games. His numbers in the Serbian league were pretty similar, where he averaged 10.9 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. These stats were enough to get the Denver Nuggets to draft him in the 2014 NBA draft with the 41st overall pick. And the rest, well, it's history still being written. After getting drafted, the Joker spent 1 extra season in Serbia, during which he averaged 18.4 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game in the Serbian league, and 15.4 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game in the ABA league. Jokic came into the league ahead of the 2015-16 season, and despite the media narrative about his earlier seasons, this guy was immediately one of the top players in the league. In his first season, he finished 3rd in the 2016 NBA Rookie of the Year award voting and earned NBA All-Rookie First Team honors, averaging 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. In the seasons that followed, the Joker stayed continually on the rise, averaging 16.7 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 4.9 assists in his second season, and 18.5 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 6.1 assists in his third season. When things really got going for him, however, was in 2019 when he took the Nuggets as far as the conference semifinals, averaging an insane 25.1 points, 13.0 rebounds, and 8.4 assists in 14 playoff games. He got his first All-NBA First Team and NBA All-Star selection that year, and since then, he has quite frankly become one of the best players in the league. And we're not just talking about being in the top 10 in his conference or something. Oh, no. The Joker has consistently been in the conversation for the season's MVP every season for the past 5 years, winning the award twice in that time frame. His first MVP win in 2021 put him among the youngest ever winners of the award in league history, and winning it again the second time made him one of just 5 players to ever have 2 MVP awards at the age of 26. And don't be surprised if he gets yet another one this year. Jokic has made the All-Star roster every season since his first in 2019, and in 2023, he won the ultimate prize, leading the Nuggets to their first ever NBA championship title as the Finals MVP. This is a really big achievement, meaning Jokic has technically won everything there is to win in the league. But he doesn't look to be stopping there. In the ongoing NBA season, the Nuggets are looking like they can get back-to-back championship titles with Jokic at the forefront. He has always been superiorly intelligent for his age, but this season we're seeing an even more advanced version of basketball IQ from this guy. His decision-making, composure, and even how he affects his opponents have really improved. We mean, he even went as far as trying to get into LeBron's head during the recent Lakers vs. Nuggets game, in which LeBron hit the iconic 40,000-point milestone. Like the Joker he is, he joked about keeping King James on 8 points, although it didn't quite work. Anyway, all these improvements have reflected on the big man's numbers, as he's currently averaging an impressive 26.0 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 9.2 assists in just 62 games. With the likes of Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon all having pretty impressive seasons as well, the Nuggets really have a shot at another NBA Finals at the very least. And if this happens, it's a no-brainer for Jokic to get his 3rd MVP award. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But for now, let's dig into how much money being this good has made Nikola Jokic, which frankly is a joke. Back in 2014, when he just got drafted, the Nuggets were believed to be taking a gamble on him. Why? We'll get into that later in the video. Because of the uncertainty in his actual abilities though, he was signed on a 3-year contract worth just over $4 million, with an annual salary of $1,358,500. Sure, that's a lot of money for regular people, but not for NBA ballers. Fast forward to 2018. The Joker put on some crazy performances consistently and proved the doubters wrong. So the Nuggets rewarded him with a bumper maximum contract extension worth $147.7 freaking million. This deal brought in about $29.5 million in annual salaries for the Serbian. And you've got to admit that this fat paycheck might have been part of the motivation for Jokic to turn into the beast he became in 2019. And it gets even better. After his first MVP win in 2021, the Nuggets pulled up with an even bigger and better contract. This time, with a deal that became the largest contract in NBA history, both by total value and average annual value at the time. This contract extension was worth a mind-boggling $272 million over 5 years, meaning Jokic could be bathing in over $55 million every year. Do some quick math and you'll see the Joker actually makes over $1 million every freaking week. Altogether, Nikola has made just shy of $200 million from just basketball earnings. That's a lot of money, but it's not all the 2023 NBA Finals MVP makes. Jokic earns quite a bit from his endorsement deals when he's not on the court fulfilling his contract. His multi-million-dollar shoe deal with Nike, a partnership deal with 361 Degrees, and endorsing other brands like Western Union, a Serbian fruit drink company, Samborak, Converse, and Panini brings his annual earnings from endorsements to nearly $1 million. He might be called the Joker, but this guy doesn't joke when it comes to his money. That explains why he also has investments outside of his playing career and endorsements. These investments include Jokic buying up several properties in Serbia with the hope of using most of the sites to aid the development of basketball courts and facilities in his home country. He also happens to be the co-owner of the Serbian basketball club BC Mega Basket. To call Nikola Jokic a business mogul as well as a basketball player isn't really far-fetched if you ask us. However, having so many assets and funds begs the question of what exactly Nikola does with all that dough. It's particularly hard to predict what he spends on because he doesn't even have social media. But don't let that fool you. The Nuggets superstar lives as lavishly as most NBA players. One of his favorite ways to lavish his wealth is on cars. And not just any random car, but the most expensive and luxurious of them. Jokic's impressive car collection includes a 2017 GMC Yukon Denali that pretty much matches the big guy in size. This ride cost him about $70,000, which is ordinarily a lot, but for Jokic, it's the cheapest of all his cars. The next car is a Porsche Panamera 4S that goes for a base price of $110,000 but it's definitely more expensive considering the flashy customization Jokic's model has, like his cool Joker license plate, and the entire body being covered in black carbon fiber. Next are his two Lamborghinis, the first being a luxurious SUV, the Lamborghini Urus, that cost him about $220,000. The other is an even more expensive model of the luxury car brand, a 2021 Lamborghini Aventador S Coupe worth a base price of $420,000. And then there's the crown jewel of his garage, a $536,000 Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 Brabus 800. He might be a horse lover, but this guy definitely knows a thing or two about sleek cars too. Still on how Nikola Jokic spends all the money he makes, we have to talk about the mansion he lives in. For most of his NBA career, Jokic lived in a 3-bedroom apartment in Denver with his brothers and his girlfriend. However, in 2022, he finally made the move to his own home with his girlfriend, purchasing a mansion in the classy Cherry Hills Village, Denver, for about $4.5 million. This property is a massive 12,271 square foot estate with a stylish contemporary design throughout. It has 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms spread across 3 floors, which can be accessed using an elevator. Jokic really knows how to live that wealthy lifestyle. Damn. As if this mansion isn't enough, he's also got a 5-plot mansion back in his hometown in Serbia, with a large concrete fence around the property for his privacy. Of course, he can't live in all these houses on his own, so who does Nikola spend his free time with? That'd be his wife, Serbian psychologist Natalia Machesic, whom he began dating back when they were just teenagers. They met in high school as best friends before they started dating in 2013, before Jokic got drafted. She moved to the US with him and got her master's degree in psychology from the Metropolitan State University of Denver in 2018. The couple has been together ever since they got married in October 2020. They had their first child less than a year later, in September 2021, a baby girl named Ongena. We've got to say that Natalia is one of the most low-key WAGs in the entire NBA, despite having a background in sports herself. She's also not a social media fan, just like her man, but fans get to see her and their daughter at Jokic's games from time to time. The next time anyone questions how much of a baller lifestyle Jokic has, you know where to send them to.